What you've got to do is make sure you're getting as many of these people as possible. Relying on one type of market is going to be the downfall for so many people, because you've got to realize if one aspect of the market is affected or infected, that was quite cool. No? Okay. If one aspect of the market is affected, then what's going to happen if that's your core market? The point I'm trying to say here is you've got to make sure you're tapping into the 5 different types of user types. So coronavirus, COVID-19, where do we start? So why did I decide to do a video about corona? Now, it might sound like clickbait. Well, it might be clickbait because I want you to click on this video so you can understand what the heck is going on in the UK. But what does coronavirus have to do with serviced accommodation? Now, for the brand new people, I love making videos like this, not to scare the pants off you. Well, yes, because it's important that if you are scared, you will take more caution and you won't actually listen to what I have to say on how to start, scale, and protect your serviced accommodation business in this climate. So what is coronavirus? It's a virus. We're all scared. We're all worried. Yes, some people say the government created a virus and they're seeping it through our systems and they're trying to make all of us go do lally so that they can cleanse out the rotten people in the society. That's one of the theories that I've heard. The second virus is they're trying to get rid of all the older people. The third one is they're just trying to kill every single one of us. Listen, whatever you believe, whether it's true, whether it's false, the fact is, there is a virus and it's causing people to behave in such an interesting way that us as serviced accommodation operators have got to pay attention. So why must you pay attention to coronavirus and your business? Now, bear this in mind. The nature of our business means we provide a hospitality service. We provide a service to who? To the traveling market, to people that stay in hotels, people that come from Europe, people that come from America, people that come from China, that happen to be one of our biggest audience. Coronavirus supposedly has come from China. Coronavirus is in Italy. Coronavirus is in pretty much every single country in Europe. Coronavirus is now in London and all over the UK. What does that mean? Well, it means we're going to see less people traveling and less people trying to use hotels and serviced accommodation. Remember, our core business, most of our business is generated from people coming from their country and coming to our country, and we provide a short-term accommodation for them. That's how we make our money. I've got 5 things that you've got to do right now to start protecting your business and making sure your serviced accommodation business stays protected. Number 1 is crucial. Do not rely solely on Airbnb and Booking.com. There are hundreds and hundreds of what we call OTAs, and OTA is an online travel agent. Online travel agent is where you put your property and then they do all the marketing and then they make sure people book your property. There are hundreds of them, if not thousands of them. You want as many eyes as possible on your property so as many people as possible can see it and eventually go on to book it. If you're just relying on Airbnb, you are making the biggest mistake and you are going to lose money because not every single person is sitting on Airbnb. If you're chilling just on Booking.com, you're going to have the same issue. Get on as many platforms as possible because some platforms are greater than other platforms and some platforms reach a different aspect of the market than one platform does. I hope that makes sense. Get yourself on as many platforms as possible. Get as many people seeing your properties as possible. Make sure your channel manager works in alignment with those, and then that's one aspect of it being sorted out. 2, stop focusing on just the leisure market. This is one of the biggest issues. This is something that the credible serviced accommodation trainers have been teaching people for the longest period. Serviced accommodation is more than just the leisure market. Serviced accommodation is more than just holiday and tourist makers. Serviced accommodation has 5 different people that use serviced accommodation. So who are those 5 different types of people? Contractors, tourists, leisure, groups. Let's start again. Contractors, tourists. Let's start again. Contractors, corporates, tourists, groups, pleasure. Pleasure stands for people that do business and also stay for a little bit of leisure. What you've got to do is make sure you are actively targeting every single user type. The big mistake most people fall into, and it's a big hoo-ha in the serviced accommodation market because some trainers chat a lot of rubbish. People say, hey, who do you want to target? And some silly people say, hey, I just want to target contractors. Hey, you don't have a choice in that. The fact is, if you're in an area What you've got to do is make sure you're getting as many of these people as possible. Relying on one type of market is going to be the downfall for so many people, because you've got to realize if one aspect of the market is affected or infected, that was quite cool. No? Okay. If one aspect of the market is affected, then what's going to happen if that's your core market? The point I'm trying to say here is you've got to make sure you're tapping into the 5 different types of user types. So look at it from this point of view. We're going to see the tourism market, which usually has around 40 million overnight users coming into the UK. Those 40 million people spend around £28 billion every single year on luxury goods and hotels. Now, with coronavirus, there's lockdowns in certain cities. Certain people can't travel into the UK. Certain people can't leave the UK. Certain people will not travel into the UK. So if your core market was just the tourism and the leisure market, then guess what's going to happen? Your business is going to shut down. So what you've got to do, get active right now, be scared, start building relationships with contractors and corporates in your area. Start finding contractors and corporates. Start looking for people who need to come into your area and actively target those people so you stand a chance of surviving. Number 3, this is really crucial. This is very, very crucial. So what we're doing across the board in some of our units now is we're cutting off what we call dead wood. Anything that's not progressing the business, we're cutting it off straight away. So this comes down to the tiny little things that we were providing, such as tiny little luxury. So extra foods, teas, coffees, biscuits. In some of our apartments, we provide crisps, we provide chocolate bars, we provide tiny little things just to elevate the product that we are providing. What we're doing is we're taking them off, because when we do the calculation, each of these extra things that we're doing add an extra £7 to £10 per guest stay. What we want to do now is remove those £7 to £10 extra that we're spending per guest stay and bank it. Because right now in this season, you've got to find a way to protect your business. So anything that is excess, analyze the entire business, rip apart the entire business, which is what you should actually be doing pretty much on a monthly basis. It's saying, hey, this is one aspect of the business, this is another aspect, this is another aspect, this is another aspect. And what you do is you pull apart every single segment and you reassess your protocols, you reassess how you run those businesses, and anything that's not fruitful or providing profit, you chop it off. And that's what we're doing. We're removing everything. We're actually looking at retraining our cleaners as well to make sure that they can clean in the most efficient time possible. So we sent an email out a couple of days ago to some of our cleaners to say, hey, come into the office, which is where I am right now, come into the office and let's have a conversation, because some of the properties that you're cleaning are usually cleaning 2 hours, yet you're claiming 4 hours for clean. What can we do? How can we speed up the clean? What do you need? This is very crucial, because we've been bleeding money, like most people in service accommodation. You're bleeding money, you're losing money, and you don't know where that money is going. The fact is you're going to get a reduced amount of people staying in your serviced accommodation, which therefore means a reduced amount of income. So what you've got to do is find a tiny little places where you can steal an extra few pounds from to balance up your books. This is crucial. Number 4, crucial. And I heard this some time ago from an entrepreneur, very popular entrepreneur. He said, in the time of a crisis, in a downturn, in an economic downturn, what most people cut first from their budget is marketing. Most people say, hey, we're in a downturn. Hey, it's the apocalypse. Hey, coronavirus. Hey, it's Brexit. So what most people end up doing is they slash their marketing. Whereas the smarter entrepreneurs, the real entrepreneurs, the real serviced accommodation operators, we're increasing our budget, we're increasing our spending. So all the savings that we're making by reducing and cutting off the dead wood, guess what we're doing with that? We're pumping it into marketing. The more eyes that see your property, the more bookings and conversions you're going to get. What you want to do right now, when every single person is hiding and they're in the corner and they're praying and they're saying, oh my God, how am I going to pay my bills? How am I going to run my serviced accommodation business? What you've got to do is use that opportunity to rise up, use the opportunity to rally up and stand out as one of the businesses that are going to weather the storm. Find an opportunity to learn more about marketing. Again, these are things you should have been learning some time ago. Develop a marketing strategy. Is it that you're going to go to every single building site and give out a leaflet? Is it that you're going to learn Facebook marketing, Instagram marketing, LinkedIn marketing? Is it that you're going to spend some time on LinkedIn reaching out to decision makers to find out whether you can provide accommodation for their staff members? You've got to get smarter. Marketing, especially when there's a downturn. I want you guys to take this corona thing really serious. Okay, I know I joke about it a lot, but I think it's actually something that's very important. Whether you believe it's a government ploy or whether you believe it's a real virus or whether you believe on how serious it is, the population are taking it serious. So your customer base are taking it serious and they are reacting as if they are taking it serious, which means you will lose money if you are not proactive in following these 5 steps that I'm telling you about. Most importantly, focus on retaining. See, there's a big section I mentioned earlier on. So I think it was number 2, find corporate clients. Number 5 is really crucial. It's focus on retaining corporate clients, because in corporate clients, whether or not the entire city or the entire world goes into lockdown, 2 things are going to happen. People are still going to need to go to work, whether they work from home or whether they still have to go into the office. Regardless, people are going to have to work until the last minute, until the entire world gets shut down. I don't think that's going to happen, but it just sounds cool for the video. But you've got to understand it this way. People are still going to have to go to meetings. Whether or not it reduces, they're still going to have to go to meetings in some cases. So what you've got to make sure that you do is, if there's a reduction in the amount of customers that you can get for your business, then you've got to make sure that you're treating the small amount properly and treating them effectively so that they stay and rebook with you. You've got to understand, in a time where there's so much, in terms of there's so much property available, so many hotel rooms available, hotels will drop their prices down, service accommodation operators will drop their prices down. So it means that the customer will have the choice to pick and choose who they want to go to. So what you've got to do is put systems in place to make sure you can retain them, because it doesn't make sense to keep looking for brand new corporate customers when you've got 1 or 2 of them, but you're losing them because you are not providing the best and adequate service. In many cases, once you chop the dead wood, you'll find that there's an extra £100, there's an extra £200 that you can utilize to put it into either marketing or retaining these corporate guests. I'll catch you soon.